Hi, it's Carl here for ProAV TV, and today we are lucky enough to get one of the first exclusive looks at Canon's new flagship DSLR, the 1DX Mark II. Now this is a really interesting camera from Canon. It effectively replaces their 1DX and 1DC models, being both an incredibly good stills camera and providing the best video capabilities that Canon offer in a small DSLR body. Internally we get 4K recording at up to 60 frames a second and 1080p recording at up to 120 frames a second. Now the reason that we can get such high quality recording in camera is that it uses CFast 2 cards. This means Canon can do incredibly high data rates, meaning that the 4K video, even when you push it up to 50 frames a second, is very high quality. You do have a compromise though with the storage space. The 4K video on this camera is going to use up a lot of space on your media, so make sure you budget for a decent amount of CFast 2 cards if you want to use this camera for video. This is partly because it uses the Motion JPEG codec. So basically when it shoots video, it is compressing a whole JPEG image for every single frame of the video. A nice new feature though is that when you're shooting 4K you can pull an 8.8 megapixel frame grab from any point of that video just from the playback controls on the back of the camera. This is really handy for quick reference stills or YouTube thumbnails, things like that. One thing that is sadly missing from the camera though is C-Log. It would be great to see that in this camera as it would really complete the package. Fingers crossed that Canon can add that in a later firmware release. In the sound department, it's basically the same as the 1DC, except that we do now have a headphone jack on the side. It's a very welcome addition. One big attraction here though is the dual pixel autofocus. They've included a touchscreen on the back, which is an easy and natural way to control the autofocus. From first impressions, just turning it on here and playing about with it, the autofocus is fast and very usable. This is going to be a very powerful feature, especially for the photographers who might not be used to focusing manually, especially smoothly for video work. It's the same system that they use on the C300 Mark II, but with a few features stripped out. It's a very capable system and can easily be used in a professional capacity for video. I am really pleased that Canon have given us some slow motion options here. In 4K you get up to 60 frames a second for that dreamy half-speed slow-mo, and in 1080p you can shoot up to 120 frames a second. It is worth noting though that that slow motion done in 1080p will be conformed into a slow motion clip in camera, meaning you don't have to conform it in post, but that does mean that you won't be able to record audio. Now this is the first time we have seen high frame rates higher than 60 frames a second on a Canon DSLR, which is a pretty big deal. So now let's talk about the still side of the camera. This is now Canon's top-of-the-line flagship camera. It basically takes everything that was great about the previous 1DX and makes it slightly better. Autofocus is faster, ISO can go higher, and because of those speedy CFast 2 cards, we can take 14 images a second or a crazy 16 images a second if you use live view mode, which sounds like this. There is no doubt that this is a fantastic stills camera which will meet the needs of any professional photographer out there. If you need to shoot both still images and video at the highest level and you are looking for a single camera to do both, I really can't think of a better option for you than this camera. It is a crazily powerful camera which is built like a tank and should last you for years of professional use. So what do you think of the camera? Let us know what features you're most interested in below and let's start a conversation. We regularly put up videos like this every single week, so please do subscribe to this channel for more.